Hey, welcome to Generally Divided, YouTube podcast where we talk about pretty much video games, movies, books, genres, and every other topic you guys like to hear. Today, we are talking about a very special topic, a topic very close to our hearts, and you probably all heard about it. Today's topic is Elden Ring, the newest addition to the PS5's astounding game genre that they have going out right now. Um, Everyone right now, I'm pretty sure you've all heard of Elden Ring. You've all seen the videos, the memes of people getting absolutely destroyed. Um, it is not a joke. It is a very challenging game. I know this from experience. I'm sure our co-host Daniel knows this from experience from his new introduction to the game. Go ahead. What do you think from your first little touch on the game?
Um, it is a game I really like because I like games that don't make it easy on you. I like games that will punish you in a way. Would make it even better as if they only gave you one life, right? Because I like those type of games where it's one life and you die, just like in real life. That's it. You have to start a new character. But they take it a little easy on you in that regard, where they allow you to quote unquote respawn. The graphics are amazing. The gameplay mechanics, I'm still getting used to. It's a little frustrating that you can't run yet. You can't sprint. You can only like dash forward.
You can sprint.
Okay.
It tells you very briefly. You have to like pay attention to it. It tells you very briefly in very small words how to sprint, and then that's it. It tells you one time.
And that's another thing. The tutorial level that they give you for your combat is very brief, which is fine because who wants to play tutorial level for a long extended period of time? But it doesn't really explain much of what this even story is unless you watch the opening cinematic. That really doesn't even explain that much of what the story is, which is fine because you're just thrust into this world where you don't know, where pretty much anyone you see is a potential enemy because you don't know, is that person walking there? Are they going to try and kill you? Yeah, they are. So it's like anyone you see is pretty much there to destroy you, except for a few people that I've encountered so far. The huge bosses, what you'll call them, like the big bads, they just demolish me. I don't even stand a chance yet, but I'm still fairly new to the game, having played like maybe 20 minutes on it so far, which is nothing. I've barely got a horse or a spectral steed or some kind of weird horse called Torrent, which is really cool because that does allow me to move faster around the map, which is what I like. So tell me, how do you sprint?
Well, for me, using the PS5, which is my dad's console, you hold down your dash button. So the button that allows you to
Really?
dash around.
It never said that anywhere to me yet.
A lot of times you got to do an action, or like say you're completing a level, you're completing an area in the beginning of the game. Once you do a certain action, it kind of like acts like an activation for it. So it'll tell you and confirm that. So like I cleared out an area of enemies finally after them demolishing me like 20 times. And it finally told me after I beat them and their main boss, when you clear a certain amount of enemies, your health and your health flasks and your focus point flasks will refill automatically. So it'll automatically go to the charges on whatever you have on your satchel. But it tells you in like very brief moments, which I like. I really like that this game doesn't focus on telling us how to play the game.
That's cool. Just wants us to I do enjoy that. Yeah, I do like
that. But yeah, no, I think one of the biggest jokes right now going around on this game is this is supposed to be a role-playing game, Elden Ring. What role are we playing in this character? Are we playing the victim? You just see these people getting demolished by all these amazing bosses.
Well, it is a true role-playing game in that the stats do matter, and you can't use the weapons until you reach up certain levels of stats, and you have to use your runes or whatever coins essentially to level up, and then you can decide what sort of gameplay style that you want to progress with, especially based upon your starting character that you choose, the archetype that you choose. being the general, the nomadic warrior, the regular warrior, the hero, the bandit, the several classes that you get. Now, there's an interesting one that think I'm going to switch to. It's called a confessor. Now, all the fantasy stories and medieval type stories that I've read, the confessor is always like a bad guy, right? Because he's someone who goes around and gets people to confess their sins or turn in their neighbors and whatnot. So it's interesting. I'm kind of curious to see if if you choose that type, if that plays any into your role play of that. Do you have to stay on that sort of like evil arc in a way? Because interesting. I'm curious to see that.
Well, one thing I will tell you, I haven't been able to do this yet. As I told you, I've only gotten a little bit into the game. But one thing I've noticed with this game is that there are multiple endings. You remember Detroit Become Human?
Yeah.
It is exactly like that. Your interactions with the characters, your interactions with the NPCs that are friendly and non-hostile.
Far in between NPCs.
Yeah. Well, there's more. As you get to a certain point, I got to the round table, so that's where you start seeing more of the non-hostile NPCs. Okay. It's story based, so once you get there to that point, you notice that your interactions with them do affect pretty much what you're going to do and the choices that you're going to make and who you see on top and who you end up having to fight in a lot of cases.
Oh, okay.
There's subtle changes. It's not as big as something like Dying Light 2, where if you help a certain faction, certain things happen into the environment and the crowd that you see. It's not as big as that, but it is subtle changes that you'll notice, which I like is really cool. I think it's honestly a well-developed game that took a good amount of time and thinking, and it gives people what they want: an open world game, Dungeons & Dragons style with the stats, multiple characters you can choose from. Me personally, I did try the warrior, and just because recommendation for my dad, which was a terrible recommendation because he got his butt kicked just like me. I'm gonna try the samurai next. I've watched a lot of gameplay reviews, and the warrior that I see coming up a lot is the samurai. I've been recommended to try the wretch. A lot of
if you really want to start out with nothing, because he's the lowest level. He's basically like a little serf in a diaper that just runs around, and you have to build him up from scratch, which is cool. Yeah, I want to try that too at some point.
He gets a club.
Yeah, he gets a wood club, he's like a Neanderthal. Think of it that way, a caveman. But I want to try, like I said, the confessor. I did choose the warrior at first as well because I like the dual wielding sword play, and that always catches my eye whenever I see a dual wield. I was like, yeah, that's fun. However, you need your shield to block and parry for like all the time at first, or else you're gonna die right away. So it's like,
on that topic, I noticed you told me a lot about your shield. The shield and parrying is great, but a lot of the enemies that you're fighting, you can't block their attacks, especially like the dragons. There's a dragon that comes very early on.
Yet. I'm just fighting some knights.
Knights, yeah. Well, when you leave the first entrance of your map, on your right-hand side, really close, you know how you remember that knight that's riding around in the horse, the opening level? Okay, well, everyone, you see him, I challenge you to try and take him on when you first start the game. Just see what happens. He's right there in the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
If you go a little bit past him,
I said hi to him.
A lake. There's
I've been to that lake. Yeah.
Okay, if you go into the center of that lake, beyond the little, bat creature like that will attack you and swarm you, you go a little bit beyond that towards the center of the lake, there is like a campfire in the center, and a dragon appears.
Yeah, I didn't go there. I saw those people around the campfire. I was like, no thanks. I'm not ready for you.
The people aren't the problem. The people are pretty chill. It's the dragon that just meteorites crashes into you and tries to demolish you before you even get to see him. You'll die before you even know what happened. That happened to me twice.
Yeah.
Now trying to figure out.
You want to send me there? Great.
Well, there's a lot of cool paths you can take beyond that, but yeah, definitely try checking that out if you guys haven't seen. But again, on the topic of the shield, you don't need a shield. You can dodge. Your dodge doesn't use as much.
I'm not jumping around like crazy, dodging around. That's just ridiculous.
The backstep. I didn't mean you're rolling. The rolling's good, and it's effective when you're going around enemies that do wide attacks or swinging attacks.
So just a circle for the back dash. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But I do like. But can I? I do like the counters, which are very effective. So you're blocking and you counter right afterwards.
Yes,
and that stuns them, and that's a very effective way that I've used so far at the beginning level to conquer the enemies. I'm not sure if I dash backwards if it's going to allow me to counter that. So especially if they're holding a big shield and it's hard to break that block.
Yeah, with the big shields, usually you want to go like to his kick, or if you have the heavy shield as well, you can go with a shield bash. I have a heavy shield, and each shield comes with its own little perks when you're starting off, and you can look at them in the stats. But one thing I've noticed is that with the smaller shields, it's a lot more effective at parrying. You get a bigger parry window as opposed to the bigger shields, which I tried out.
And
I tested out a few.
Drains your stamina slower with the smaller shield. I'm assuming. I don't know, but it seems like it would.
Well, yeah, and the stamina regen is a little bit faster with the smaller shields because you can still hold up your block. And I've noticed the stamina regen is just a slight bit faster than with the bigger shields. I mean, you can still just let go of your block if you're not being attacked or if you're stepping away for a moment to let your stamina recharge. Paying attention to your stamina, your health, and your focus points makes a huge difference. I noticed when I was first dying, I realized I wasn't looking at any of those bars. I was just swinging wildly, trying to kill everything. And I kept dying. And paying attention to my stamina, how many times I can attack, how many times I can block, and just letting that recharge, it really made a difference.
Yeah. Well, if you're like me, when you die in a game, I get really mad and I just want to turn it off and not play it anymore because it's like, I don't know, that's just how I am. But with Elden Ring, the one thing that I find interesting is they don't give you an option to choose your gameplay difficulty, which I think is really cool that everyone's playing the same level of difficulty. No one gets an easy mode or a hard mode that I've noticed yet. Unless you choose the wretched character, then I'm assuming that's your hard mode. But that's really cool. That's a different approach to it, which I kind of like.
There is some talk that the character playstyle, like you said, the wretch was your hard mode, is the difficulty choice.
Oh, okay.
In a sense, not just on smoothness of play, because each character has a different playstyle. Each character has a different move set. Very slight variations. Like obviously the warrior is going to fight way different than the samurai. The confessor is going to fight way different than the warrior and the samurai.
And the bandit's going to fight different, right? And then the astrologer or whatever it is,
they're going to fight different, and you're going to have to deal with different play styles, different difficulties. They say magic though, the magic users, the astrologers, the confessors, people that are based in magic. I know everyone can learn magic over time by raising their intelligence and picking up spells. But the people that focus on those stats, they're playing on easy mode.
Really? Okay.
Just look at some of the videos on just some of the clips of the spells that they use and some of the damage that they do to the creatures that they fight. It's amazing. It's like, wow, these characters don't even stand a chance.
Nice. What is everyone out there? If you're playing Elden Ring, what's your character base set? I want to know. Tell me what should I be using? I tried out the warrior. I tried out briefly the bandit, and I tried out the prisoner, which I thought was interesting. And I liked him, but I couldn't change his helmet out after a while, so that made me mad. So I gave up on him because I didn't want to run around like the man in the iron mask the whole time. But yeah, what are you guys using out there? Let us know. I'd be curious.
You felt constrained like he probably felt?
Yeah, I was like, get it off.
Yeah, well, definitely let us know. We want to hear from your guys' playstyles and your guys' ideas on characters and future videos. Let us know what you guys want to see. We look forward to reading your guys' comments, and we love hearing what you guys like to know about. We only ignore them half the time, I promise. But other than that, that is all for today.
See you next time, everyone.